Fáilte Rovas Jack, welcome back to the Lagan Stream podcast. I'm Máirtín Ó Muilleoir and I'm here today to introduce you to John Hannaway. John's going to tell us why he is an artistic accountant and why 1976 was the most pivotal year in his life.
I'm Máirtín Ó Muilleoir. Welcome to the Lagan Stream podcast. This week we're talking to John Hannaway. And John is a great friend of Belfast Media Group, of Andersontown News over many years. He was certainly, by my reckoning, the first West Belfast partner in Coopers and Lybrand. People listening won't even know what Coopers and Lybrand was or is, but went on to be a senior partner in PwC. But now he runs his own shop, Hannaway HCA Chartered Accountants, and most importantly, he's visiting West Belfast again. He won't get a nosebleed because he's here visiting his mother every weekend at the very least.
Absolutely.
But we're great to have John speaking at the West Belfast Small Business Roundtable later this month on the 28th of January in An Chultúrlann. So, John, that's only part of your sparkling CV, but I want you to tell us a little bit about the University of the World. And an old writer, columnist at the Andersontown News had many years ago called Barney Gowd. I used to say, I went to the University of the World. But John, you've been to the School of Hard Knocks now, so you're given 2 minutes to tell us about the year 1976.
Yeah, so Máirtín, 1976 was the year that changed my life. So on the 14th of February, I got married, not because I was romantic, but because Jo was then 7 months pregnant. The 23rd of April was a telling day. My father was brought into the Royal Victoria Hospital, into the City Hospital, and Jo, my wife, was brought into the Royal to give birth to Joanne, and I ran from the Royal Hospital to the City to see my dad to be told he'd been diagnosed with cancer. So that was a toughie. May, June, did my A-levels. Odd A-levels in a way, yes, for an accountant, maths, further maths, physics, but art as well. And went to university, first person in my family to go to Queen's University to study economics. I say study. I spent most of my time working in Fraser's trying to support my little family. And unfortunately, on the 18th of September, my father passed away. And meanwhile, I had moved into Joe's granny in Laval Street, just off of Springfield, and learned how to use a mangle to mangle the terry towelly nappies for Joanne.
Wow. Now, when you're that age, John, you don't really think of these things as life lessons, but I take it was character forming to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, forget about the fun and games I had with my friends playing football and so forth. I then had, I had a daughter to support and to look after. A brand new life. My father was fantastic. When Jo fell pregnant, I was really scared. And remember, this is 1975, 1976. And he said, son, you've created life, you haven't destroyed it. So be very proud of yourself. So I really had, and I was extremely fortunate. My wife went back to work in the civil service part-time. My mum looked after Joanne. Jo's mum looked after Joanne. And Joanne went to school initially. Anyway, and it meant that I had to knuckle down because I had somebody to look after. Managed to scrape through university with a decent enough degree, actually. Got a 2-1. There was nobody in the first of that year. People didn't actually know me because I was hardly in university. I was working in Fraser's all of the time. And it was an interesting time to make the money up. Not only did I work on a salary, sort of pushing jeans across the counter, but remember back in those days, Máirtín, there was all of these incendiary devices. And I would do overnight shifts to search the duffel coats for incendiary devices. And then the following day, having had no sleep, then serve in the shop. So it was definitely character forming. It was very fun going to Coopers as it was then in a black taxi with a suit and a briefcase. And I hadn't got 2 shillings to rub together. So first of all, there's a very nice codicil to the story because you and Jo have gone on to have a larger family and grandchildren and have done very well, thank God. So important to say that. But Coopers and Lybrand, kid from West Belfast,
Why did they want you, John, and why did you want to go to them?
At an early stage, I thought I liked art and liked maths. I thought, should I try architecture or should I try accountancy? And nobody really to guide me. So in lower sixth, I did another O-level. O-level were then not GCSEs in technical drawing. Realised I didn't like it, and I subsequently found out that technical drawing's got nothing to do with architecture. So anyway, went to university, and back those you went on what's called the milk round, and Coopers and Lybrand I thought was a massive firm. They had like 90 people, and believe it or not, I had 3 interviews to get into the firm. The first interview, they're interviewing me. Second interview, they're really trying to persuade me to come in. I thought this firm's too stuffy for me. I'm not sure I'm going to survive. And they brought this fantastic guy called John McCormick with his tie on done, overweight, back those days, Máirtín, smoking in the office, his feet up on the desk, and he chatted me through, and I thought, oh my goodness, I could actually make it in this place. And then I started, and like who knew, but was it, I started in, when did I start? I qualified in 1982. So I started in 1979, qualified in 1982, and who knew, in 1988 I made it a partner.
And John, those years, you know, for those of us down certain age, were very difficult years in the city. And you were keeping your head down, getting qualified and so on, but you were always very entrepreneurial in your approach. Is it fair to say that? Because when you're like a partnership's almost like a family, so they don't really need entrepreneurs or want entrepreneurs, but you're always very pro small business, pro entrepreneurship. Is that fair?
Yes, I mean, I spent my entire life, people now see PwC as this massive organisation, but at the end of the day, all organisations are about people. And back then, you know, Coopers as it was then had about 90 people. We had offices in Enniskillen, we had an office in Larne, we then acquired an office in Derry, Portadown, and a lot of people dealt with the big companies. I specialised in SMEs, and in fact, I didn't like the word small, so I didn't like the word SME. And technically, I was an auditor, and I didn't like the word audit either. So my business card read, John Hannaway, partner, growing business advisory.
Okay, well, I mean, it's everybody's a business development executive, so you were ahead of your time in that, and you got a reward from that, John, because you had great loyalty from the businesses you work for, especially Indigenous businesses you work for.
Oh yes, I mean, like I've been exceptionally fortunate, Máirtín. When I left